Once upon a time, in a village called Iguosa, there lived a young man named Aigbe, and he was known far and wide as the laziest individual in the entire village. Aigbe had a remarkable talent, not for hard work or dedication, but for creating unnecessary scenes that would make people pity him and come to his aid. His antics were so infamous that they became the stuff of legends in the village. Aigbe's laziness knew no boundaries. He would find any excuse to avoid work, and he had a particular fondness for lying under the shade of a massive baobab tree in the center of the village. A tree that has seen generations come and go. It was his favorite spot where he would spend most of his days, lounging idling, basking in the dappled sunlight that filtered through the thick foliage. The villagers at first tried to encourage Aigbe to be more industrious. They would offer him a task and chores, hoping to inspire him to contribute to the community. However, Aigbe was a master of excuses. Whenever someone approached him with work, he would fake exhaustion, pretend to be unwell, or even claim that his back ached terribly. His acting skills were truly remarkable, and he often had the villagers fooled. But what truly set Aigbe apart was his ability to create elaborate scenes of desperation. One sunny day, as the villagers were busy tending to their fields and homes, Aigbe lay under the baobab tree, groaning loudly. His voice echoed through the village, and soon enough, a curious crowd gathered around him. "Oh, whoa, it's me," he moaned dramatically. "I am so hungry, but my legs have failed me. I cannot even walk to get some food. Will no one help a poor, starving soul?" Aigbe's performance was Oscar-worthy, and it was not long before the villagers rushed to his aid, bringing him food, water, and expressing their sympathy. He would eat and rest comfortably, all the while wearing a satisfied grin. This cycle repeated itself many times. Aigbe's reputation for being laziest man in the village turned into a bizarre kind of fame. People would often recount his dramatic episodes at gatherings and celebrations, and the mere mention of his name would elicit laughter and amusement. Yet Aigbe was not entirely heartless. While he was undeniably the master of indolence, he had a kind heart and meant no harm to anyone. He did not steal or cheat. He simply referred to take the path of least resistance. His friends and family, despite their exasperation, could not help but love him. One day, a visitor arrived in Iguosa, a wise old man who was well-traveled and had heard tales of the infamous Aigbe. This visitor, named Amadi, was intrigued by the stories of Aigbe's laziness and his talent for garnering pity. Amadi decided to pay Aigbe a visit. At the baobab tree, he found Aigbe lying there, mourning pitifully. "What ails you, my friend?" Amadi inquired, with a twinkle in his eye. Aigbe, eager to showcase his skills, launched into a dramatic tale of his suffering and misery. Amadi listened patiently, his wise eyes studying Aigbe every move. When Aigbe finished, Amadin said, "I have heard of your legendary laziness, Aigbe, and your remarkable ability to gain the pity of your fellow villagers. But I wonder, have you ever considered putting that talent to good use?" Aigbe was taken aback. No one had ever suggested such a thing to him. Amadi continued, "Imagine if you could channel your gift of persuasion into something that benefits the whole village. Instead of feigning illness and hunger, you could inspire people to come together for a common cause." Aigbe pondered Amadi's words. It was an intriguing concept, and he realized maybe it was time for a change. Perhaps he could use his skills for the greater good. Over the next few months, Aigbe began to experiment with his newfound purpose. Instead of crying wolf for his own benefit, he started to highlight real issues in the village. When there was a shortage of water, he would create a scene to draw attention to it. But this time, he genuinely rallied the villagers to find a solution, and they worked together to dig a big well. Similarly, when the harvest was poor, Aigbe did not pretend to starve. Instead, he used his gift of persuasion to organize the community to improve their farming techniques. Crop yields increased and everyone had enough to eat. Aigbe's transformation from a lazy man into a motivator of change was remarkable. The villagers were astonished by his new role and they supported him wholeheartedly. Aigbe had discovered a sense of purpose and he was happier than he has ever been before. As years passed, Aigbe's stories changed. He was no longer known as a laziest man in Iguosa, but as a man who could unite the village in times of need. His tales were no longer about his own imaginary suffering, but about the victories the community achieved together. The baobab tree that had been his refuge became a symbol of unity and collaboration. Under its shade, the villagers would gather not to pity Aigbe but to celebrate their shared achievements and listen to his story of inspiration. And so, the tale of the once lazy man, Aigbe transformation, Aigbe transformed into a story of redemption and community building. Aigbe proved that even the most unlikely individual could find their purpose and use their unique talents for the betterment of all. His legacy lived on, reminding everyone that there is more to a person than meets the eye, and that transformation is always possible, even under the oldest baobab tree in Iguosa. Please subscribe to this channel, hit the notification bell, like, share, and do not forget to drop your comment below.